in the broadest of strokes, these plans all would have aggressive timelines and spend a great deal of money to get there.
And by money, we are talking about mostly taxpayer dollars?
So, yes and no. Typically what these plans will say is that there's X level of direct federal spending or investment, at times as much as in the trillions, and then the idea that this would also leverage private and state money. I should say, and this is one of the challenges that I think maybe we'll discuss in a little bit, is that these plans oftentimes as funding mechanisms look to have pretty substantial changes to the tax code. For example, Elizabeth Warren wants to, of course, not only reverse, as I think they probably all do, President Trump's the tax cuts that the corporate tax package that he signed, but also, Warren has her idea for a wealth tax. Almost all the candidates want to do away with tax incentives for the oil and gas industry. So these plans would both spend a lot, but also look to some pretty significant new revenue sources that would require some pretty important changes to our tax code.
We're speaking to Ben Geeman, energy reporter at Axios. His piece is called 2020 Dems' New Climate Plans Need the Senate to Succeed. So in reference to the headline there, the political reality of one of these plans moving forward into actual legislation is what?
Well, there's two colliding realities here. So the first is that, we've seen the view from the scientific community only strengthening, and we've had this raft of reports over the past year that show the narrowing window to sort of hold climate change at least somewhat in check. You often hear of this target of holding things below 2 degrees or even 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. That's going to require deep cuts in not only U.S., but certainly worldwide emissions. And, the idea here is that the U.S. needs to, in a sense, lead by example. But to your question, one of the realities that scientific consensus is colliding against is the fact that even if Democrats were to win the presidency, and even if they could eke out a very narrow margin in the Senate, which is by no means guaranteed, if you look at the 2020 map, it's going to come down to just a few very important races in swing states. I mean, look, everybody knows what the filibuster is, right? I mean, to get any major legislation through, you essentially need 60 votes, okay? And so that's why you've seen Elizabeth Warren and Julian Castro and, really calling for Democrats, if they can win back control of the Senate, to abolish the filibuster, to allow some of these big climate proposals to go through with a simple majority vote. Now, that largely pertains to a couple of big things they want to do. One, as I mentioned, are changes to federal spending levels, right? Congress, of course, famously controls the purse, so to have these huge investments, you're going to need changes. You're going to need Congress to sign off. Similarly, some of the candidates would, in different ways, put a price on or some type of fee or tax on carbon emissions. That would also require congressional sign-off. And then another big set of things